Hey there, welcome to DollMotion. With Articuno, we have Zapdos. It's time to complete the trio and make Moltres, the bird of fire that's based on a legendary phoenix. And kinda looks like a rubber chicken. Anywho, I was thinking of making a warrior princess. Inspired by the Fire Nation of Avatar the Last Airbender and Planeswalker Chandra of Magic the Gathering. Well, with this in mind, let's make Moltres. But before we start, let's talk about the secret hint of last Repaint episode. If you saw the Moltres figure, then you found the hint. Good luck finding the hint in this video. For this repaint, I'll be using Monster High doll Luna Matthews, who has a yellow skin tone and a round face, which is perfect for Moltres. She comes with a lot of accessory, like a crown and wings, but I need to remove them for this custom. Then I bind her hair in her ponytail and start cutting her hair as close to her head as possible. To remove her head from my neckbag safely, I use my trusty mug and fill it with hot water. I dunk the doll in it and leave it to soak for a while. This makes the final soft and easy to remove from the neckbag. Well, she's going to be a bird, so she won't be needing these. Into the spare arm box. Then I go in with tweezers through her neck and remove the remaining hairs. Well, I tried. The hairs were glued pretty good, so I had to cut open her head to get to the remaining hairs. Now that I already have my X-Acto knife out, I also cut off her human ears and nose. That will be replaced with a beak later. Wow, I just noticed how big her eyes are. Sadly, I have to take off the factory painted face with acetone. Otherwise, it won't be a repaint video. I wash it after with warm soapy water. And not forgetting about the huge gap I made in her head. I sew it shut, and that is it for the head for now. Just like Articuno and Zapdos, Moltres is also going to get bird legs and a tail. For our feet joints, I'll be using these spare leg joints I still have on my Zygarde custom. Hey, never throw out leftover joints, they can be handy for a later project. I attached her new joints and made her an armature for our wings, legs, tail and beak out of wire. I attached them with a combination of epoxy clay and epoxy glue. And now for the awkward part. I have to dress the doll before I make her bird feet. Because after that I will never get it on the doll. Well, not in a pretty way. For the fabric on her armor, I'll be using her old jumpsuit. It's a perfect fit and already the right color, so hey, time spared there. It just needs a small cut to make it more of a bathing suit, and now I can slide it over her legs. But before I close it up, I'm going to attach her tail with a 2-part epoxy glue. And I'm also going to paint it yellow, so I won't get any stains on the fabric. And for our pants, I will making her, yes, it's return of the poofy pants. Something the legendary birds can only rock. I slide it over the legs and fill it with some leftover yarn to make it more poofy. Now that her outfit is done, for now, I can switch to epoxy clay. I fill in her legs and form a new beak. To make her armor, I use kitchen plastic or wrapping plastic and wrap it around the doll. Now that she's safe from the wet clay, I can sculpt her a new armor. I wait one day for it to dry so I can paint it. I start with black and dry brush it after with silver alcohol ink to give it that worn out armor look. I also made her a belt buckle and shoulder jewels. To make it more fancy, I pour red glitter in it and seal it with clear drying resin. Just a few minutes under a UV lamp or sunlight and here we go. After about an hour of sanding, these legs are ready to be painted. I will be going with Moltres' original color scheme, where she had dark red legs and a beak. I think it looks more intense and better on this costume. Now that her legs are drying, let's make more armor. Out of black craft foam, I make shoulder pieces. I use the delightful candle technique to form the craft foam to a Monster High doll. I gave it some racing detail with 3D paint. I glue on the shoulder jewels and now I can dry brush it with some gold alcohol ink. Looking good. Wow, those legs really look like hot peppers. Let's use some blushing to make it less obvious. With pastel powders, I also make a transition from beak to face smoother. I seal it with a few layers of Mr. Super Clear and now I can continue with the face up. I started sketching in her eyes with watercolor pencils. I really like the big eyes on the original doll, so Moltres is also going to get big eyes. She'll be getting fierce eyebrows. First I want to make them out of yarn, like I did with Zapdos, but I think it would have looked too manly on Moltres. And then it's already time for acrylic paints. Articuno has red eyes and Zapdos has blue eyes, so Moltres is going to get green eyes. Yellow eyes could also have worked, but I think green eyes look better. Now that I'm shading her eyes with pen pastels, let's answer the question of the day. Do you make your videos one at a time and post them when they are done? Or do you make a ton and post them together? Well, I never make a ton of them, that would be impossible. But most of the time I work on one doll. I film it, edit it and post it on YouTube. And then I start on a new doll. I think it's kinda hard to focus on more dolls at once. But about a month ago, I started working on more dolls at once. With the holidays coming up, I'm working on a lot of cool specials. So, with this in mind, definitely click on the bell icon, because there are going to be a lot of new videos with a lot of repaints and stop motion scenes. Do you have a question for me? Leave it in the comment section and maybe I will answer it in the next repaint video. Back to the repaint. And now for the best part, the highlight in the iris. It really gives the eyes that little bit of extra. To finish the face up, I give her some less blushing with pastel powders and a final spray with Mr. Super Clear. When the ceiling is all dry, I roll out some yellow fabric. I glue it around her armature to make basic wings. To make the flames on Moltres, well, you can lit the doll on fire, but you only have fun for a few minutes. But you can also make them out of yarn. Yeah, I use this stuff a lot, so I kinda got a yarn collection. A combination of yellow, orange, red and bordeaux, or dark red, will work perfect for flames. I bind them to my giant cut-off fly swatter and start combing out the yarn. Half of the yarn I cut off and glue on a freezer bag to make wefts. The rest I first flatten with a hair straightener before I also make wefts out of them. This way I have two kind of different textures of yarn that will make better flames. I begin with the yarn wefts by gluing them on with a hot glue gun. When the wings are done, I continue with the head. I begin with one rolled up yarn weft, which I glued on in the middle. Then I fill in the head by going around with more yarn wefts. The last yarn wefts I glue on her tail. Great, now that we are all out of yarn wefts, it's time to switch to loose combed yarn. These I cut off straight off the fly swatter and glue on with fabric glue. It kinda looks messy at first, but it will dry clear in the end. Same story for the head. I glue on yarn to give her a normal hairline. She looks like Vegeta. Okay, time for some styling. Fire is uneven and reckless, so to mimic this in her hair, I'll be cutting, twisting and shaking it. Same for the wings. And here we have a wingspan full of flames. She's already wearing an outfit, but let's make it more interesting with some red fabric. I distress the fabric on the end by lighting it on fire. Yeah, it's best you do this outside. I sew it to her poofy pants and finish it with a strip of fake black leather. Now I only have to glue on her armor and give her some shine in the eyes and she's done. Well, that was it for this Firebird. Next in line will be Lugia and then Ho-Oh. And I also mentioned this on Instagram, see DollMotion. I will also be making Raikou, Entei and Suicune. So we're not even halfway on this repaint series. I would like to thank my Patreons for supporting this channel and giving me the possibility to keep on making videos here on YouTube. like I already mentioned in the video, there are going to be a lot of new repaint videos and stop motion scenes, so definitely click on that bell icon to get a notification. And like always, like if you liked it and sub if you loved it. See you in the next video. Bye!